Brittney Griner was sentenced to 9 years in prison for 0.7 grams of cannabis oil. Really? Really? Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. The sentence has been handed down. Brittney Griner is looking at 9 years, has been sentenced to 9 years. The question is, will she have to do it? The U.S. is considering some kind of prisoner swap. Of course, the question is, will the prisoner swap go through? Because the guy that Russia is trying to get back wasn't arrested for possession of marijuana. The guy that Russia wants back, Victor Blout, was sentenced to 25 years for conspiring to kill Americans. Arms dealer. In fact, he's the guy that the movie Lord of War was based on. So they want an arms dealer in exchange for a woman who had trace amounts of marijuana on her. Trace amounts of marijuana oil in vape cartridges. Really? The thing is, a lot of people are, calling out to free Brittney Griner. And of course, arresting her for that in itself is ridiculous. 9 years for that is ridiculous. And it's not like it's the first time an American has been locked up for possession of marijuana or possession of cannabis. There's a young woman by the name of Audrey Lauber. And she was found in possession of 17 grams. 17 grams. She got a couple of months and was sent home. This looks like it's political. It's a time when there's tension between the U.S. and Russia, and the U.S. is trying to use Brittney Griner as a bargaining chip. Like I saw somebody on Twitter say, oh, well, they should have kept it quiet who she was, so that way Russia wouldn't have known that, she was important and a VIP, and they would have just given her a regular sentence. To that person, let me assure you, Russia knows who Brittney Griner is. Russia pays Brittney Griner more to play basketball than she gets in the United States. They know who Brittney Griner is. And that's why she was there. See, what a lot of people don't know is that WNBA players go overseas to play basketball, number one, because the seasons are different, so it supplements their income. And in some cases, like in Russia, they actually get more money. Years ago, Becky Hammon got a $1 million contract from Russia. She was making nowhere near that amount of money here for the WNBA. And right now, the highest paid contract in the WNBA is $227,000 a season, which is what Brittney Griner is getting. But in Russia, she was making much more money. So when all is said and done, I think they will wind up doing some kind of swap to get Brittney Griner home. And I think there's another prisoner that they're looking to get home in exchange for perhaps this guy. And it's an unfortunate situation. But what's really interesting are the takes. So on one side, you've got takes from people saying, hey, this is outrageous. President Biden. In fact, President Biden is calling for her release, saying she shouldn't be in jail. This is unacceptable. And he's right. It is unacceptable. But what's ironic is that the architect of the war on drugs, one of the main generals in the war on drugs, is now saying that Russia's war on drugs is unacceptable. You know what's also unacceptable? America's war on drugs. You know what America needs to do? Since you're in this frame of mind right now, Biden, you know what you need to do? You need to deschedule marijuana immediately. At the federal level, you need to eliminate the federal prohibition against marijuana. That's what you need to do. Because you can't sit here and talk about, oh, they need to free Brittney. And meanwhile, you've got Americans sitting in prison on federal charges for the same substance that you're talking about. Which actually is interesting because right here in America, Iman Shumpert, another basketball player, a male basketball player, an NBA player, was arrested in Texas for possession of marijuana. So like right here in the US, people are getting arrested and being thrown in cages for marijuana. So it's kind of hard to criticize and demonize Russia for doing it if America is doing it. Let me be clear. My position is no country should be doing it. No government should be doing it. No government has the authority to tell you what you can and cannot put in your body. It's ridiculous. And what's ridiculous is that you've got grown people, adults, that think it makes sense for another person to tell you what you can and cannot put in your body. The fact that people think this shows that they are brainwashed. That's what it shows. And you've got these conservatives, these constitutional conservatives who are celebrating Brittney Griner's arrest. And they're like, yeah, oh, guess she wishes she could hear the American anthem right now. The absolute clowns that they are. They stand on nothing. They believe in, like, just to own the left, right? That's what it is. Because what they fail to realize Like, for one thing, Brittney Griner brought gold home to the United States in last year's Olympics. Well, in the 2020 Olympics that was played last year. That's more than 99.9% of these assholes have ever done. And Trump gets on and makes a statement about, and Trump's statement was tame compared to a lot of the stupidity that I'm hearing coming from other people. He said she's spoiled, potentially spoiled. He's wishy-washy about it. Like he wanted to kind of badmouth her, but he didn't kind of want to. So he's like, well, she's potentially spoiled, coming from the trust fund baby that never had to do a day work, never had to do an honest day's work in his life. That's who we're talking about. And then to say she was loaded with drugs, which is just factually inaccurate. 0.7 grams. 0.7 grams. But there were people all over this internet, even on YouTube, who will say, oh yeah, that we follow the law. And once again, I say, you are not an adult. You are not an adult if you accept that the government can tell you what you can and cannot put in your body. You're a child. You're a child and you're brainwashed. I feel some type of way about this because what's crazy is you have people on the left who may think that the drug laws, and you do have people on the left who think that the war on drugs is legitimate. The same people that are saying my body, my choice, acting like that's a principle that they actually believe in when it comes to abortion. And then you've got people on the right who will claim to believe in, oh, government shouldn't be able to force you to put something in your body. It's my body. The government should. No, if you believe that jab mandates are illegal, are unconstitutional, are an exercise of authority that the government doesn't have, then you gotta believe that drug laws are also unconstitutional and an exercise of authority that the government doesn't have. You see, there needs to be some consistency. But what we have here is inconsistency and a bunch of inconsistent infants that are insulting each other and happy to give up rights of their own just so they can own the other side. The fact is, there's no reason why any government on the planet in existence should be able to tell a grown person what they can and cannot put into their own body. Point blank, period. That's it. I'm hoping that Brittney does get brought home. I'm hoping that she does get out soon, very soon. She never should have been in custody anyway. This is clearly political because like I've seen stories about Russian courts doing a whole bunch of nonsense on some political tip. And I hope that she doesn't have to suffer too much longer. As always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you disagree with me, if you believe, no, obey the law, go ahead and give me a thumbs down and write in the comment section what else you think you need to get permission from the government to do. And if you enjoyed this video, you can check out this video I have on Liz Cambage. I'll see you next time.